So welcome everybody to our next session of Topical Tuesday. I can't believe we are in our spring sessions already, and we're about to have a few more Topical Tuesdays for this school year, and then we are finished. Today's topic, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. You want to know all the details. We are going over everything about our FY25 collection development plan with Kimberly today. If you have not already done so, please go ahead and sign in. I did put the link to the sign in the chat box, or use your phones for the QR code. I will give you a second to sign in, and then we will move forward. Please remember that as you sign in, this is how we will collect attendance for your year-long participation, just in case you need those certification points at the end of the year. If you have any issues signing in, we do get the attendance log from Google, so don't fret if you can't log in. We have a backup if needed. There are a lot of us on here today because, like I said, it is a hot topic. So please keep your microphones on mute. Unless you have a question, please use the little hand raising symbol on the bottom of your screen and wait for Kimberly to call on you. Or you can always put your question in the chat box and somebody, one of us, or Kimberly will get to it as soon as possible. And like I said, it's Kimberly's day to shine and answer all of the questions. So I'm going to turn it over to her, and then I'll come back to finish up the meeting. So all yours, Kimberly.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm coming to you today from Pioneer Park Elementary School Support. So if you hear background noise, it's the Active Media Center here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And then we will get started. Present full screen. So we're going to talk about creating or updating your collection development plan. And I'm going to go through these slides really quickly. We have a help document available for you. We have a template available for you this year. We do ask that you use this year's template. Much of the information you will be able to look at in your collection development plan from this past year, that was for this year, that was created last year, and just update the information that needs to be updated. Remember, everything that is in red is what you'll need to look at on the template, and the content that is in black meets the legislative guidelines, and we ask you to keep those sections in there. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the different sections. We are mandated by the state to provide an annual collection development plan for our media centers. So that's the legal reason we do it. But we also know that the collection development plan helps you have something in writing that you can use to guide you. So you're thinking now about next year and you want to use this as a guide. Your vision and your purpose for your program. What kind of programming are you looking to incorporate next year? It also helps make your decision-making process clear to the stakeholders. If you have it in writing, it's very easy to be unbiased and show that you're unbiased when you are explaining the decisions that you've made, because they're in line with the plan that's been approved by your administration. And it lets your community know that you have a connection with them in your programming. You have a plan in place that includes your school community. And of course, it connects you with the school district policy and the Florida statutes. So I'm just going to go very quickly through these sections. And if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. We will send out all of the links that are mentioned in this training, and all of the information is also available in Library Current, and we have a help page just for your collection development plan. So we will provide you with that as well. Your purpose statement, it clarifies to all the stakeholders that you have a plan to guide your decisions. 1 or 2 paragraphs. You don't have to like go into great detail there. That's just a quick summary of your plan, your purpose. So the background statement and the school community, you're going to use your school improvement plan report, or you're going to use the Florida Department of Ed report card for your school, and that will give you some data you need to describe your school community for the age, grade, race, languages spoken, and the students. You're going to want to include any special programs that your school offers, and when you click on the link for special programs, that's the showcase website, and then you will click on choice booklet, and you'll be able to get more information about any special programs that your school offers. Moving along, we're going to have our school mission statement. And you may have that in a handbook that you were given by your administration in the beginning of the year. If not, it should be on your school's website. You will have a mission statement that aligns with your school mission statement and the district mission. And then the responsibility. You're responsible for the collection management and development. Describe how you take that responsibility, and you seek out stakeholder input from administration, faculty, students, parents, and the district stakeholders. You're going to describe your library program in general terms in a paragraph form. What kind of schedule are you on? Are you on a flexible schedule, a fixed schedule, a 6-day rotation? And do you support special initiatives? Do you facilitate a news crew or TV production? Do you have a library crew or a library advisory group? And then describe briefly the instruction that takes place in the media center. The next section is your goals and objectives. You're going to write 3 SMART goals. Those are goals that are specific, measurable. How are you going to know when you've reached your goal? Attainable, relevant to the needs of your school community, and timely. These will be your main focus for FY26, and describe and define how you will achieve the goals. How will you know when you reach those goals? It's a good idea to have at least one of the goals supporting student achievement or instruction as aligned in and found in your school's improvement plan. And we will give you the link for that so you can see what your school is targeting. And it's optional, but you can align one of the goals with the district's strategic plan. I know there's something in there about project-based learning and about students having more of a say in their education. So if you had an advisory board, that would align there. Just ideas. It's wide open. You can look through the plan and find anything that works with the programming that you have in place. The budgeting and funding section, you're going to see the 3 columns, the school-based operating budget broken down by line item, And then you're going to see the column that says budget FY25. That's this school year, the numbers that you got from your bookkeeper for this year. And then you're just going to put the same numbers in FY26 projected budget. The budgets don't usually vary that much. So it's projected. So just put the same numbers, and you're going to then put an idea of your purchasing plan. This is not written in stone. If funding needs change or the needs of your school change, you're not committed to making these purchases, but it shows that you have a plan in place that you intend to move in the direction of purchasing books or supplies or whatever is needed for your school. The next section is the scope of the collection. You want to include all of the formats and the hardware or software that's used to view or access that material. Your school may have a separate section or special areas of focus because of programming at your school. And you can mention that here. Include a mention about the district provided databases and ebooks, because it expands your collection and it also provides 24/7 access to students. And we want to stress accessibility. Include a reference to the policy. The materials in the Media Center are not just for curriculum, they're also for pleasure reading. So we have both of those goals in our Media Center. Equipment. It's a good idea to list the equipment that is available for use in your media program. Do you have any robotic items? What materials do you have? What equipment do you have to run your program? Do you have iPads? Do you have smartboard? Do you have a TV production studio or a computer lab in your media center? All of those things can be listed here. So in the collection development section, this is a general statement, which is, in your own words, describing for someone who doesn't know our library lingo, just a general reader, community member, explaining and defining your collection development, the plan. And there's a sample here. Go ahead and read through that and then put it in your own words. Selection, evaluation, and criteria. You're going to reference the board policy on selection. You can mention that the reviewing tools that you prefer that you use, but you don't have to include the entire document. We have it linked in the appendix. The point is to explain you have a thinking process in place and it's grounded in school board policy. Let me see. Okay. I just had to check that message. I'm sorry. The analysis of the collection. You're going to use your analysis to inform your reading and purchasing priorities for the next year. You're going to include the data from your school, and it will likely be last year, in the infographic. And you're going to submit your collection to Tidal Wave and make sure your current student population is updated so that you have an accurate reflection in the output. You're going to then analyze your collection by category. There's a chart in there, and you're going to put the average age of different sections, and you're also going to put the count of the books in that section. And all that information is readily available on your collection analysis. The section on gifts and donations, you're going to describe to your stakeholders how you handle gifts and donations. You can't blindly take anything that anyone gives you and add it to your collection. You have to follow the same procedures that you have in place. And if you put it in writing in your collection development plan, it's easier to help someone see if there could be a reason why something that they want to donate is not able to be added to the collection. Collection maintenance. In this section, we're going to make sure that we spell out very clearly what your 3-year rotation is for inventory. The entire collection has to be inventoried every 3 years. So you're free to do a third or more each year. One second. We're going to get some announcements. So you're going to list your rotation plan by year. Here's an example: FY26 fiction, FY27 easy, FY28 nonfiction. And then this is a good place to note if you have labeling, shelving, a sticker system in place. This just helps anyone who walks in your media center or looks at this, another media specialist, to be able to pick up where you left off and to be able to see what you have in place, how it's organized. And the collection development plan strategic focus, we adjusted this a little from last year. So it's the same information, but additional information as the last section, because generally you're going to be weeding in the sections that you inventory. So we combined that part of the chart instead of having it separately like we did last year. And then your selection priorities. What sections of your media center need your focus for adding to the collection? Those are going to be in the selection priority. Reconsideration of material. This is where you make the important connection to the board policy on challenged materials. You're going to follow the board policy, and you're going to refer the reader to the full text of the policy. It's already linked in Appendix C. So we have 5 different appendices that are linked in your template, and using that template means you don't have to hunt out these documents. They're there for you. And I put on here instructions for the table of contents magic. Once you finish putting all of the content in your plan, then you can have Google Docs automatically update your page numbers in the sections, and this information will walk you through how to do that. And that's all I have for the slide presentation. So I'm going to come back over to the Meet and look at the chat here. Okay, good. The average age for graphic novels, you're going to go dig deeper into Dewey. So on the tidal wave analysis, it will have the different sections, and then it says dig deeper into Dewey by tens. And the graphic novels are 741.5. So you're going to go to the 740 and click on it, and then you'll be able to go and if you have only a few, you can just count them. If you have quite a few, you can download the Excel sheet and get the information from this Excel spreadsheet. You do not have to have 3 priorities for each year, Betty. You may have one large priority. It just depends on the needs of your school and your programming. Let's see. Let me try to find some questions. Where do we update population and tidal wave analysis? That's in the settings. Stephanie, how does the analysis break down sublocations?
It's going to read anything that you have in Destiny. So if you have sublocations, I do believe in Destiny, it's going to show that. Otherwise, it's going to run it as a normal library would with the different fiction and nonfiction breakdowns and the call numbers, but it should be related to your Destiny catalog. So if you need to run a new title-wise analysis, that is in the catalog section of Destiny. If you go on the left-hand side, it'll say title-wise, and then you can run a new report. But the only thing, again, like we suggested before, is make sure that you have finished your inventory, because the analysis only works if your inventory is up to date.
I know that was really quick.
Any other questions?
Is there a link to submit like last year?
Yes. So in the principal's bulletin that went out right before spring break, and I do believe Kimberly sent it to you via email, the link to submit is in that bulletin. And if for some reason you cannot find the bulletin, remember that you can always go to your portal, go to the bulletin app inside your portal. You can type in library, you can type in development, or you can just scroll. You can always go back and locate the bulletins there as well. Okay, Marie, if you just go to reports, library reports, and go to weeding, you can pull one there. Any other questions?
Stephanie, I think this was asked last time when we did inventory, but if students still have books checked out when you're doing your inventory, does it count them? Like
Yes.
if I'm doing the easy section?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The system knows that you have the book because the system has the book.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Lasia. No microphone. Can you type it? Okay. All right. Okay. We'll get to your question for in the chat box. If you've been with us the last couple of years, not much of the process has changed except for the template. You can go back and look at your previous ones, add and change that, and just use the new template. Kimberly did send out the help stuff. It is on our library currents page, but with this recap video, we will send out everything once more. Kimberly is always here for you. Anya is always here for you. I am here only to forward the emails Kimberly and Anya, but I can answer any Destiny questions that you might have. If that is it for Kimberly, we're going to go ahead and move forward. Lastly, I've inventoried all sections and want to know the sublocations with our dual language. So are you sublocations? you would have to run a report to see the books in your sublocations, or you can do an inventory, particularly in a sublocation. That only works though if you have put all the right books in the right sublocations, right? So if you have a book on the Spanish shelf, but you have not put it in the Spanish sublocation, it's not going to count that book for inventory. That's why when we do the inventory, we always tell you to leave all the sublocations the same. We are going to, if you have any questions about inventory in particular, just email me. We will continue on with that conversation. I want to make sure that everybody gets out on time. But if you have particular inventory questions, email me. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. We are finishing up, hopefully this week, next week, our school support groups. So we'll have a little bit more time, hopefully, to play catch up and answer any other questions. We're going to move on. So, but email anybody, either one of us, if you have anything else. Okay. So hopefully I was not there. I heard it was a fantastic event. I hope everybody had an amazing night at the Emma Gala. If you attended, congrats to all of our winners, our media specialist of the year, our clerk of the year, our principal of the year. I was only able to see pictures, but it looked absolutely beautiful. So I truly hope that you guys had an amazing night. If you did not come this school year, perhaps maybe consider joining us next school year. I know that they are always ahead and probably already thinking and planning for next year. If you have not heard, Jamie Wilson from Jerry Thomas is your new Emma president going into the next school year. She is fantastic. I just know that you guys will all be in good hands, and Emma will continue to do great things for you. We only have 2 more sessions. We have one with science, and then a share tank for all of you, and then we are done with our Topical Tuesday. So if you need points for the end of this school year, please make sure that you sign in, you log on, you enroll into our class in ELM so that you can get your 20 points based on all your attendance and participation in the Topical Tuesdays. There will be one assignment for you to do that will sort of encompass everything all in one. It is a recap of all the different ones that you, what you've learned throughout the year. If you need to go back, they are all recorded on our library currents page and then also on our YouTube channel. Not that you have to sit and you have to watch every single one of them, but it'll give you a list of all the different topics, just so that maybe it can jog your memory onto all the different ones that we've had this school year. Hopefully it's been a wide range of topics for you. If there's something that we are not covering, something that we missed, please reach out, let us know, and we will make sure that we get it in for next school year's Topical Tuesday. Our next session is going to be on April 29th. This is going to be in collaboration with our science curriculum team, K through 12, on how we can incorporate a little bit more science into our media center and what we can do to bring in those science standards, science books, the STEM lessons, items like that. But thank you so much to everybody. We know that the springtime is a very, very, very busy year for you guys. You're getting into testing. You're getting into getting pulled all over the place. So we do appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us this afternoon. We will stay online for a few more questions if there needs to be. Otherwise, I'm going to stop the recording, and I wish everybody a great afternoon.